Blog Talk Radio.
That was "Oh Christmas Tree" from a user on YouTube called CFS Commercial-Free Music. Or sorry, copyright-free music. They make music for you to use in any of your projects free of charge. Check them out on YouTube. They've got quite a selection of songs. Quite a few of them are Christmas songs, but they also have some other things to offer too. This is a Poetic Slice of Life, which is a group that's located at allpoetry.com, the largest poetry website in the world. Thanks to Kevin and his crew for keeping that site up so we have a place to hang out and have some fun and write some poems. Poetic Slice of Life is owned by the beautiful, the lovely, the sweetest woman in the world, my wife, Kay.
Hello.
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 And I am her Wesley, Steven 76. And just to let everybody know, Santa Claus has indeed been spotted in the United States. And he is in Pennsylvania right now. Just left Annapolis, Maryland. How about that?
How about that?
Yep, he's on his little journey here. Today we're doing open poetry, open holiday poetry. Any poem about the holidays can be dropped and read today. And if a poem was dropped in our topic folder and the author cannot make it, we were given permission to read their poem in writing.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else I have to include before we go to the phone lines?
I think you got it.
Pretty soon it's going to be like a half-hour spiel I'll have to give before we can go to the phone lines. Let's go to the phone lines, and we have Raz. Hello, Raz, and Merry Christmas.
How you doing, Steve? Merry Christmas to you, sir. Happy holidays. Santa's out of Pennsylvania. Did he take the UPS delivery truck this time, or is he looking for a higher quality service?
I think he is a higher quality service, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're searching for the reindeers with the satellites, they're not really seeing them anywhere, but that's the way of old St. Nick.
Yeah, yes it is. So,
Yeah.
where do you want to go? Do you want to drop the first poem, or?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Okay, just wanted to check real quick. Did you want to, either you or Raz read first?
No, Raz, would you like to read for John?
Yeah, I could read the poem on the board. That's no problem. We're out here just minding our own time on Christmas Eve in Miami, Florida, having a party.
Oh.
Everyone
Awesome.
out there might be at a party who's listening. After all, this is past 10:30. The kids even stay up past 12 sometimes to open the presents right when it's Christmas morning. At least one present from a family when there's a party. Christmas in your heart. It's not Christmas until it's Christmas in your heart. It's not Christmas until peace and joy become a part. It's not Christmas until it's Christmas in your heart. Let's just all join together in a world of love we can start. There's carols on the radio. The weather has turned cold. There's lights everywhere and the greatest story ever told. The snow is falling down and we're all socked in tonight. Let's join hands together and sing a round of Silent Night. We should think about the messages from this day long ago, when God gave us a present because he loved the world so. It's not about what we get or who's under the mistletoe. Before this day passes by, we should let the world know. It's not Christmas until it's Christmas in your heart. It's not Christmas until peace and joy become a part. It's not Christmas until it's Christmas in your heart. And let's join hands together in a world of love we can start. And every day can be Christmas in your heart.
Excellent read. Yeah, and that was
Poet
by
Mr. Gilman.
J.E.G. Yes. Username of JEG625.
As Jag, but Gilman is his license title.
What'd you think of it?
I believe the message rings true that Christianity really means world peace. Why there's even the day of Christmas, which celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ, and this message is universal, that in the glory of God, we could all live together as one race that causes absolutely no harm to each other and respects a brotherhood of man. And although that sounds like the lyrics to Imagine, somehow that's the exact message of Jesus Christ as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's an excellent comment, and I definitely agree with this. I thought this was a wonderful write, and yeah, I agree that an important message. And he also mentions, of course, the reason for the season, Jesus Christ. And I also like how he repeated those first two stanzas again at the end of the poem to kind of drive that message home. I thought it was a really good write. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, I believe I agree with what everybody says here. I like how he keeps talking about keep Christmas in your heart. For everybody, it's true, like I said before, everybody carries their own beliefs as to how they see Christmas, how they celebrate it. And I love how he brings about the reason of the season, as people say. But I also love how he keeps emphasizing about keep Christmas in your heart every day. This, the Christmas season is very easy to be all warm and fuzzy, but, after Christmas, it just goes away so fast.
Yeah.
The thing about December, it changes the mindset of people, but then come January, it's just like bah humbug that carries over for 11 months.
Yeah. All right.
It's hard to imagine a Christmas that passes and the person does not have a conception that the holiday spirit is here. There's always the lights out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true.
But somehow if the message is not in the heart, then we're not celebrating the very thought of Christ, which means somehow to respect each other and the brotherhood of man. I don't think Leonard came up with that all by himself. That was there in the gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is true. Okay.
Me to read for Jaskaran?
Oh no, I'll.
You want to read for
I'll do
Jaskaran?
that.
All right.
Let me open this one. Okay. This way. Okay, this is by Jaskaran, and this is called Christmas is a Season to Celebrate and Enjoy. Yes, Vicki. Christmas is a season to celebrate and enjoy. We celebrate with our family to have fun and joy. This year I brought a special gift for you. I know you have grown, but to make you happy, your favorite childhood toy. Forget all animosities, reignite old relationships. Give a giant hug filled with infinite love and stop being a coy. This moon outside, have an adventurous ride with your family on a sleigh. The world will be freed from suffering. Gloomy nights be filled with hopeful tomorrows. Just after every dark night, there is a blazing sun. The world is your stage. In Christmas carols, even the gods will dance. Every face has a shining smile, and everybody's hearts are one. For everyone, Christmas holidays are yearning. My wife orders me to keep the house shining and take care of kids with a warning. Forget your worries and forget your fears. This is Christmas, people. Time for fun and put a smile on your face with sneers. Fill your lives with memories to cherish. May all your dreams come true and lives flourish. Don't worry, I will help you cross the shore. Having me safe. We should bring a smile on teary-eyed. Ought to see everyone's face. End poem.
Yeah. What'd you think of it, hon? Or did you want me to comment first?
Yeah, I'll have you pass off.
Let me comment first. I thought this was a wonderful write about the Christmas season. I love the imagery and the winter activities that he included, but I like that he sprinkled a little humor in that too with the where's it at? But my wife orders me to keep the house shining and take care of the kids with a warning. That kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But yeah, I mean that's one thing that some people maybe forget that it's also about being with your family and being with loved ones and sharing the love. It's not about getting gifts or did I buy you the right gift. It's about, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Thought this was great.
It is. And I will second that because with the one thing you said, it made me think of our son. I'm glad he's starting to get to that point where he's letting go of that mindset because for the longest time, it was always about what did I get.
Mm-hmm.
But if he did get something, it wasn't right. And sometimes he would tell you, and it was just, he knew how to crush the feelings back then by being so brutally honest instead of knowing how to be thankful for what was being given. The rite itself, it does express about having faith and open heart. And an open heart and open mind is good to have, not only at Christmas, but all through the year. But I like the little bit of humor that's mixed in there, too, because when holidays pass, I definitely spent plenty of time, getting the house tidy, getting things ready for family who are ungrateful anyway.
Yeah.
So, I love the little humor that was put there. Because the holidays, it is about so much more than just what's being given. It's about spending time with your loved ones. And just enjoying each other's company and enjoying the moments and just trying to keep magic of Christmas alive. Not just on Christmas Day, but throughout the year.
Right. Just like Elvis said.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. And you should welcome Wayne.
Before we get any more comments, let's welcome Wayne. Hello, Wayne. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Wayne.
Merry Christmas.
How you doing?
Y'all doing all right? I fell asleep while ago. I just woke up, so I'm feeling a little better. Hope y'all having a good night.
Were you out there in Pennsylvania? Which state?
No.
Well, he's not in
Anything
Pennsylvania
flying
anymore.
Up there that looked like a sleigh and maybe 8 reindeers, or no eyewitness accounts from the earlier part of this broadcast. They said it's going down the state.
Well, actually, according to my Santa tracker now, it says he's in Rhode Island now, so he's moving. Wayne, did you have to read and run?
Well, I'm no, I don't have to run, but I don't think I'm going to comment very much. I'm pretty dizzy and lightheaded from being awake for 2 days. But I'm going to stick around and listen and talk a little bit, but not much. But I don't want to talk much, but I'm going to listen. So I might go back to sleep. I don't know.
Cool. That's fine too.
Yeah.
Jazz, Raz, what did you think of Jazz Grant's poem?
I think this is a great sign of faith and someone trying to hand down a positive message. As to Jaskrin, the writer, he suffers from Wilson's disease, which is really tragic and a very harsh condition to keep on generating these positive messages, including his other poems. What he leaves behind must be some form of symbolic act or legacy of wanting to pass down the right words to the next generation.
Well, yes.
Mm.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Awesome comment.
Yes.
Okay.
We
So,
think of
Wayne,
that.
before you... Yeah, definitely. Wayne, since before you fall asleep, maybe you want to read your poem for us?
Yeah, I'll get that out of the way. So, this is called I Hear Bells. Woke up this morning when I heard the doorbell, hoping it wasn't someone with something to sell. Tried to peek out the window, but I couldn't tell. As he was leaving, found out it was the mail. Opened the door, there was a box for me. Couldn't wait to open it, just had to see. Then the clock struck 12, saying all was well. That's when the corner church rang its bell. The big church downtown sounded like a big bong. Started chiming in with a Christmas song. Then came a little girl running down the street, making lots of noise with bells on feet. The air was filled with a wonderful ringing sound. There were bells ringing all over our town. Fire truck drove by waving, ringing its bell. Old man down the street was wishing all well. Thought I put my box under the tree. Can't believe I got a present just for me. I reached over with hands and grabbed the hold. Presents sure get heavy when getting old. When I got the box inside, I slipped and fell. Not sure anything broke. Too soon to tell. Got to my feet. Thought I'd go back to bed. There's all kinds of bells ringing in my head. And
Yeah, I like this, Wayne. I always like your humor too. You always give me a chuckle. I like the way you describe the Christmas cheer in this. Everybody smiling, wishing you well.
right.
But I think the one thing that really hits home though is how things do seem to get heavier as we get older. Yeah, this is great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, even I get heavier. I like to tell a story the other day. I dropped the remote under the end table, and I got down on the floor to get it, and then I was like, oh, my God, what did I do? Trying to get back up.
Get back up the floor. I don't go that far down.
Got to get one of those grabbers on a pole.
Yeah, it's it.
What do you think, hon?
I thought this was a cool write. There are certain aspects of it that made me think of the movie It's a Wonderful Life, especially at the end. I know that was the humor, but it also, I kept hearing the line, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings, was what I was hearing in my head when you're talking about hearing the bells in your head. I love your writes to begin with, because you always have the punchline at the end that's always humorous. But yeah, this makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life. It's a cool write.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I quoted It's a Wonderful Life today at work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we got a bell for the customers to ring.
Yeah.
To let us know they're there.
Yeah.
And I went up there and they started ringing the bell saying, look at me, I'm handing out wings.
Chicken wings. Doesn't count.
What do you think, Raz?
For the most part, the narrator might suffer from an unfortunate luck of always running into bells. I like the poem, but I think it did not have a humorous ending. When you're in that state, you've been the entire day hearing bells, and then after coming from outside your house into the home and falling to hearing them into your head, you might be in a slightly comotic state. This is not really being left at peace when you're hearing only bells at more higher amplitudes than even audio sound in your head.
Yeah, I broke 2 arms too.
Tell you the truth, I'd be concerned for the person if maybe they would require some kind of medical attention because they hear too many bells.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But if you put it the other way, what's a person supposed to know between a headache and angels growing wings from hearing bells in their head?
I've heard a lot worse than bells.
Awesome. All right, where did you want to go from there, hon?
Yeah, I will let you read next.
Wish for me to read for Phil.
For Phil.
Oh.
See, Becky's on the board.
Yeah, she said for calling it that.
Oh, cool. All right, Phil brought the reason for the season. I like this. Phil the poet, and the poem is called Emmanuel. Come gather round this infant mild, God's only begotten holy child, wrapped in swaddling clothes, the Savior who saves souls. God is with us, dwelt among men, born in a stable in Bethlehem. Silently he came, his life to give, that all may repent and live. Shepherds saw the angel choir, the sound of heaven they'd admire, left the sheepfold to behold his glory, to be part of this wonderful story. Kings from the east followed a star, upon camels they traveled far. Gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, they lavished upon the infant fair. Into the world he came to save us, God in the flesh, precious Jesus. Gave up his riches, he became poor, a humble servant, and much more. Born of a virgin, as it was prophesied, so all may worship God on high. Come, listen to the story I will tell about the Savior, Emmanuel. End poem. And I thought that this was a wonderful poem about the birth of Jesus, the reason for the season. I think he poetically retold the beginning of the greatest story ever told. Is that excellent, right?
Yeah.
Raz, what do you think?
Yeah, it's mostly the birth of Jesus Christ, the manger. You have your 3 magi coming down from the North Star, which could have been Polaris at the time, at closer reflection of which star they were following towards Bethlehem. And then in this description, unlike the other night where there was a drummer boy, you have the fact that the Magi acknowledge that Christ, before Hesiod would try to behead every last infant child in Bethlehem to make sure that the Son of God was not born, was of very humble beginnings. In a manger of all things coming into this world. And, of course, Emmanuel translates also into that very thought of the Savior being born into the world. Straightforward. Yes, it's a great poem.
Awesome comment. Wayne, did you want to comment? Do you want me to skip over to?
Yeah.
By Mr. Malone. I have his name now. He's not just Phil, but Mr. Malone.
Yeah, I'll make a comment. I think I've read this somewhere before. It might have been a bestseller. He did a good job of redoing the story, and good rhyme, good everything. It's a good poem.
Awesome comment.
Yeah. And I will second what everybody said. I do think this is a wonderful write because no matter what Phil writes about, it's always great with what he brings, whether it's about this or even humor.
Dark.
Yeah, he's very versatile with what he writes. He can write anything, and he could do it very well.
Yes, he did it.
But I do think this is a gem of a write because it definitely is about, what the reason of the season is. It's, something that does get overlooked and not always recognized because Christmas is seen as many things to many people.
Yeah, something to make a buck.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll quote Jim Morrison, huh?
What's that?
Phil is the poet king. He can write anything.
Ha ha. He can.
You see how Steve's voice
Becky's here.
changed to actually Jim Morrison because Jim Morrison did not die somehow. He lives on through man. His voice also, that was not even a voice impersonation. I don't see how Jim goes on haunting these records. I mean, now it's live radio. But you can't go through too many doors. If you went through too many doors, there would be less of that Blakean philosophy of infinity. If you open all of the doors of perception, then you would see things as they truly are, infinite. Huxley.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hello, Becky.
Hi, Stephen. Hi, Kay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Hi. Good to be here.
Did you hear Phil's poem, Becky?
I did. I was reading it as I was waiting, and it is a lovely poetic retelling of the Christmas story. I think he did a beautiful job. The rhymes are very sweet to my ears. And I think that, above all, his faith shows through. And it's a beautiful poem, Bill.
Excellent comment.
Thank you.
And did you have to read and run, Becky?
I can hang around a little while.
Emmanuel is really said to be a prayer that
my
goes
voice
back
says
to
that.
of the Spirit of the Lord, If you repeat Emmanuel enough times in prayer, you could be left in a state to realize God.
Yeah.
That theory is not openly practiced, however.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Becky, we dropped your poem in the room. That way we don't have to worry about rushing or anything.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to you reading this one, too, because I really like it.
All right. Well, this one will take us to another part of Christmas. Not the spiritual side, but I guess the more material side, but it's all a part of it. And this is called Cardboard Castle. The train track is deserted. Cars derailed in a pile of red and blue polymer, and Barbie sleeps in the nude. Twisted limbs resting on a bed of dry pine needles, now clattering constantly from the Christmas tree. Video games, name brand sneakers, and designer jeans requiring a second mortgage, all trudged beneath dozens of feet, while the children scamper carefree in a homemade cardboard castle. End poem.
Wow.
Yeah, I like this a lot because it's so true.
Very true.
And of course, I always love the details that you put in your poem, and a lot of it tickled my funny bone because I could actually picture, the train off its tracks and the Barbie doll with her clothes thrown all over the living room. She's laying there naked under the tree. And but yeah, I mean, I said in my comments, kids,
not
cats,
dressed
and dogs.
out of the box, that's beyond the kids, right?
Yeah. You spend all this money toys and they tear them open and throw them down, and you see this $50 video game that you bought, laying in the floor. It's like heart attack. And they're over there playing with the boxes. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
It's fun.
For sure. And so one thing we still do is we still buy our cats presents for Christmas, and they'd rather play with the bow.
Yes. Yes. Same here. But they make it fun.
They do.
That sounds playful.
What do you think?
Cats going around trying to undo ribbons.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the music review that Cats received. the actual species just the other day. I mean, that's all over the headlines. We could agree, however, that the real thing could stand up to the play. At least T.S. Eliot could until he wrote Old Possum's Book of Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you? Yeah. What did you think, hon?
Well, this makes me think of Christmas's past, because there is truth in what you say about spending money on, these gifts that cost so much money. And I like how you say requiring a second mortgage, because that's a good play on words, because the kids, the stuff they want is so darn expensive. Even a video game now, it's like $60. It's like $60 for a game.
Yeah.
No. And yeah.
But all around, you're right, it does make me think back to Christmas's past. Because I remember in the past when James was younger, sometimes it was those simple little things. I remember the one Christmas, you remember, your parents making the makeshift train where every chair was like we were sitting.
A different car on the train, yeah. We just sat on the road and
yeah, and your dad was on the train with us.
Yeah.
And he had so much fun that night. Sometimes it is the little things, that mean the most. Yeah. But, those are the cool memories, the ones that you're going to think about, years after.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's very nostalgic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Takes me back, too, because the kids have gotten, my kids have gotten older. Of course, they don't do this anymore, and now I have the grandchildren that have come along, so I do give them gifts, but I've turned over the Santa role to their parents now.
Yeah.
So,
it is their turn.
Yes, their turn. They do that now, and I just sit back
Oh,
and
you're
watch
another
them.
one of those families that get the presents for them, huh? And you don't believe Santa's real. Why you even do that much on Christmas, I see.
Okay.
Now, should I check the tracker?
I'm just teasing with you. I mean, this is a great poem. The cardboard castle imagery, it's straight out of Platt.
Yeah.
That one thought you have is actually just piles and piles of cardboard that can form into any form towering over the actual canvas.
Yep. That's what my boys used to use, blankets, make tents and cardboard castles, and all over the room. It was fun.
I used to spread the dining room chairs out and put a blanket over them to make the tent.
Yeah. I think I've told this story before. My middle boy built one of those contraptions with chairs and blankets, and parts of the furniture were covered with blanket and sheets and stuff. And then he tested out a sliding board with my 2-year-old, my little girl, the younger child, and she slid down this makeshift sliding board right into a chair. Had to rush and get stitches. So he was always his guinea pig. Well, he felt very bad, though, of course.
Yeah. I'm just checking the tracker.
I mean,
and it
you're
says,
that far advanced now?
I'm sorry, what?
You're that far advanced from the setting of the poem? Like Kay had mentioned, when you were writing it down, you were thinking back to a certain time period, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I
was. Yes, absolutely. Every Christmas it would be this way. Every Christmas. So, yes.
What's come over here after play?
What's that, Wayne?
I said, I'm going to come over here after the morning play. She got all the good toys.
There you go.
Yeah, you can come. You can come play.
I could use some designer jeans, too.
No.
Can you take out a third mortgage, Becky?
A little video game?
Talk about expensive. And, and they can't have, regular jeans or regular sneakers. They have to be the Michael Jordan or, whatever they are. Cost $100.
Yeah.
Jordan pumps, that must have been in the 90s. We're way long into 2020.
Yeah, well, I'm not
30
going to
years
talk
in the
any
past.
dates. I'm not discussing dates. It was a few years ago, just a few years ago, that's all.
Yeah. With kids,
Yeah.
it usually is about keeping up with their friends, usually.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, if there's any kids out there listening right now, they shouldn't be because they should be sleeping. Santa Claus is in Quebec right now.
That's right. And he's watching. Well, I used to say that all the time. Yeah, Santa Claus is
He knows
watching.
that
You
I
better
cannot.
get in
He's
that
not coming down here.
Oh my.
All right, hon, where did you want to go from there?
Okay, I am, because I like to honor what is dropped, I am going to drop John's second one. You want, I can read that one.
Okie doke.
Let me get my tab open here.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. And this is by JEG 325. This is called Santa's Gift to Me. There's nothing to celebrate, no presents under my tree. It's hard to be real happy when you're stuck in misery. My baby walked out on me after giving back my ring. He never gave a reason or explained a single thing. Oh, what a silent night it was. As I saw snowflakes fall, we used to watch together, but somehow I lost it all. I asked Santa to bring you back. Allow us one more try. I wished for Christmas magic, a man with means to fly. On the 24th, I dreamt of you. Memories so precious to me, laughing, loving, and sharing. I prayed once more I would see. Outside, the snow kept falling as the clock was striking midnight. When I heard a noise in the roof and ran out to check the sight. But there was old St. Nick floating down through the snow. He had brought my lady with him, wrapped in a Christmas bow. He said, I heard your plea, and I gave you one more try. Merry Christmas to you both. Now it's time for me to fly. I woke up with a smile as I saw you there with me. I said, Merry Christmas, darling. We'll share love for eternity and hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought this was very sad and somber, of course, at the start, and when someone important to you is missing, things just don't seem right, especially around the holidays. But it was a happy ending, though, when it all turned out to be a dream, so that's good. Wake up on Christmas morning and she's still there.
Yeah.
I thought this was awesome. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you said because in the beginning it did start out that way, but the end it ended on a very positive note. Speaking of eternal love, because this is something we've talked about a lot with a lot of different people for the month of December. But the holidays, while they can be merry for some, they can also be challenging for some as well because of the loneliness and the sadness that is carried for the reasons that are there. But to be able to share love with that special someone during the holiday season and every day, it does make the days a little bit more brighter, especially during the holidays. Because I know, even though in between my sadness, I have people to share it with as well, and it does help to balance out the sadness. So it's always good to have special people in love because it all balances out, just as it should.
Yes, indeed. What did you think, Becky?
Well, as I was sitting here, as I was listening to the comments, I flipped over to this poet's page. Not being familiar, always wanting to get to know, a new writer. And I see just quickly from reading his profile and first couple of poems that this poet has a lifelong love, a very strong love. And it certainly comes through in this poem. And when I think of this, when I read, as I was listening to it being read, I kept thinking the word, this is such a sweet poem. It is, and it does start out in a very kind of sad way, but it evolves into such sweetness and the kind of the fantasy that he he or she pulled in to honor the Christmas theme. It just is real entertaining and just heartwarming. I guess that's the word. I always love to read something that someone has written to someone that is so important to them, that they're so much in love with. I think it comes through in their words, and it did in this poem too. It's a great job. I'll read more.
Awesome comment. What do you think, Raz?
You just have to set these words to music. You have the whole rock tune right here. Or even, if properly done, a Christmas carol for this special holiday.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jonathan, he writes a lot of poem songs.
Lyrical songs, yeah.
Oh,
But I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
I will just read.
All right. Ho, ho.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, Wayne.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Wayne.
You're going to make me read, huh?
Yeah, make you read. Here's the last one.
This one I wrote 6 months ago. The picture was the prompt. And there's a little black kitten riding on a white unicorn, and it says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the rider's name was Death. So this is the poem I came up with. I call it Christmas Tree. Death is coming.
Onward, Buttercup, there are shenanigans and dunderies up ahead.
On a pale unicorn rode a rider covered in black. His kitten eyes are focused. The ornament he must sack. An animated tree topper. Santa goes round and round. The unicorn glides through the air. Doesn't make a sound. And when they get just close enough, the dark rider does lunge. The tree does rock both to and fro. And then it takes a plunge. And boom.
Yeah. So cute. Fair. I thought I had to do a contest. Kind of dorky, was showing my love for cats here, but I know when you wrote this, you had our little Percy in mind that we had all those years ago. Because you were just basically, telling the story through his eyes.
Yes.
About how he had to ride the tree down many times at Christmas.
Yep. I think 2 or 3 times he rode the tree down.
Yeah, it was a total of 3
The
times.
whole
It
poem's
wasn't a
complete here, but, I mean, people who hear this on the radio, they don't see the image. There's a doll of a pale unicorn, and on top, the black cat, who's a kitten, and of course the caption that the kitten has now become pale horse and will ride the horse until its death. If you see this image of the kitten on top of the doll that happens to be a unicorn, the only sentiment is that there is nothing in the other species that comprehends the Bible in any form of violence that one would imagine from Revelations, but an entirely opposite message. One that, in the end, you would want God to be harsh on you, that there's pale horse, but somehow it could be that very black kitten, who knows.
Wow.
Gets away with it because it's cute.
Yeah.
That's over my head.
Yeah. What do you think, Becky, about Stephen's poem?
Stephen, what I think is I have seen this in front of my tree, sort of. You know, if you have cats, if you have kittens, they will not leave the ornaments alone, and they'll find a way to get to them. In fact, after a few years, or after maybe a year, I gave up and I started putting the same little round, unbreakable balls along the bottom that they could reach, and they got all frayed and ugly, but I still put them down there every year on the bottom so that when they knocked the ornaments down, it'd be the bad ornament. Kind of spoiled my tree, but you did such a good job. I like the imagery and that where you took this picture to the story about this a kitten going around the tree and getting the unicorn to help him lunge the tree is just so creative. And I don't know where you pull these things from. I guess out of your head. But I love it. Great Christmas poem to hear tonight on Christmas Eve.
Thank you, Becky.
I mean, and
yeah,
finally, as a flood, you can have one of those rubber floats that go in the pool, or maybe the turtle sitting on top of the rubber float. The rubber flood float.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, like Kay said, this is kind of based on truth because we had a black cat named Percy years ago, and at a store we found this animated tree topper that looked like a little house, and a guy looking out the window, and above it Santa Claus and his reindeer just going in circles for the house, and Percy had to have it 3 times, and the third time he broke the animated tree topper, so it was gone.
Oh, that's hilarious. I can just see it. I can. Cats are wonderful.
Yeah, they are. We can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
I know.
It was funny.
I used to have a pair of cats, but that was a long time past. I don't discuss that.
Yeah.
I would see them when they would have their kittens, and during that time period, what there is to the state of the feline is extremely playful. It will respond to literally anything around it. Very delicate.
Yep.
Yeah, they will.
Everything's a toy.
Yeah, they will.
Everything's a toy, that's for sure.
Yep. Is that Sky? Is that Sky sneaking around?
He's knocking out.
No.
It's Sky falling asleep driving.
Don't do that.
Be careful, Sky.
Do you want me to start yelling?
I'm almost home. Yeah, I'm almost home. But I'm not even staying home. I have to go home and get a bunch of stuff and then sleep over at someone's house. But
Oh, Lord, dear.
I'm almost there.
That's Christmas for you.
Yeah, I know. It would have been I would have been home like a half an hour ago if I didn't go the wrong way.
Well, Sky, I heard you say that on the other show, and I have done that before, too, so don't feel bad. Yes. Just start listening to the music, go the wrong way on the interstate. I'm going to embarrass myself. I was in Winston-Salem. If I had come the right way on the interstate, Charlotte's about an hour. I went the wrong way, listened to the music. Before I knew it, I was in freaking Virginia. 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I started seeing Virginia signs.
You get lost in all that swamp and bogs and the forest on the side of the interstate road.
Oh my God, that's like 95. I don't know if anybody drives around in New England, but once you hit 95, if you want to go north, you have to go south, and then it connects you to north. So to me, it's like, why would you go south when you want to go north? But that's what you have to do. So, like, if I get on 95, there's a good chance I'm going to be in Maine or Rhode Island pretty soon and not even know it. So I just kind of avoid 95 altogether.
Yeah.
If you're heading to Rhode Island, Wayne, he's available tonight. Right, Wayne?
Oh my!
I'm far away from there now. I'm way up northwest. I'm only an hour from Vermont, where I live, so I'm far away from there.
Well, I'll admit too, it happens to me, especially if Kay and I start talking.
Yeah.
I'll just go right past where I'm supposed to turn, and just keep going.
Yeah.
The movie's talking. Yep.
I was so distracted by Becky singing, I went the wrong way.
That's why my voice is going. Same. Well, I'm glad I didn't cause any accident. Sky would have felt bad.
Wayne went to sleep anyways, so I mean he wouldn't be available at Rhode Island headed the wrong way.
Wayne's had a long week.
Yes, he did.
He's been busy making
Bless his heart. It's a busy time of year. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yep.
Yep.
I still haven't forgotten. I owe you a YouTube video I just didn't realize that my family was going to occupy my time for so long.
Oh, that's okay. These last few days have been busy here too.
Yes, they have been.
The day's been going by pretty quickly.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
But
I
I did get a whole case, and I mean a case. When I mean a huge box, probably with about 30 ramen noodles in it. I don't know why that's considered a Yankee swap gift, but that's what I got. I don't even eat ramen noodles.
Who's going to hand you noodles and shells over a poem? I mean, you see, we're not even working for peanuts anymore like the Beatles song Drive My Car. It's just, they just hand you shells, and it's like, well, I can't really turn this into money. But I hope you like the words.
I'm going to re-gift it to my godson, who absolutely loves this stuff. He thinks it's like the best stuff in the world and usually doesn't get that kind of stuff, so he'll be ecstatic.
Just don't tell him what the main ingredient is, Sky.
Why do you guys do that way? You said to do that earlier too.
Soylent Green.
No, it's not.
Is it what?
Soylent Green.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
You don't know what Soylent Green is?
No, Charlton Heston film.
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah. Well, you should explain yourself. Don't throw it out there and not explain.
Well,
it's a futuristic movie.
Usually, Steve, I will give him this. Usually, Steve and I are on the same page, but we're not on the same page right now.
Well, you have to see.
Now you don't turn Christmas night into the message that there might be human material somewhere in the geothermal program. You know, soya beans.
Where do you want to go? By the way, Sky, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. I gotta find my wireless headset so I can unpack and repack my car at 12 o'clock at night.
Merry Christmas.
I'm waiting on this. Crystal needs to read and run. She just walked in the door.
Crystal's here. Merry Christmas, and you got to read and run.
Yeah, sorry,
Exactly
my sister came in.
Would like his ramen noodles now. Does anybody out there have the ramen noodles? I would give you Wayne's address, but I mean, then anyone
Wayne
can
says he
find
wants
him.
some
You
ramen
can't
noodles.
have that. He must be still having those bells ringing in his head. Ramen noodles, poems. Can hand out the hat.
I bet I could write a ramen noodle poem.
I'm sure the wheels are probably spinning.
I
After
have.
the show, you'll be like that.
Oh. Oh, Sky dropped.
Oh, she's
No,
right
there
back.
she's back. She dropped, she's back.
Yeah.
All right. Then she put Crystal's poem on the board so she can read. There you go, Crystal.
Thank you. Okay. And this is one that I did when I found like a little one of those emoji websites, and I was like, oh, it should do a poem with emojis. And I know people that are listening in can't see the emojis, but they're part of the ensemble. This is called Christmas Time Again. An evergreen tree with presents tucked under, a wonderful time full of so much wonder. A fire roasting with cookies and milk, a warm, cozy blanket cuddling your face like silk. A bunch of smiles muster as snow falls down. Here comes old Saint Nick with that sweet, magical sound. End poem.
A wonderful read.
Yeah. Yes. And I thought this was cool, and I like the rhyme. And yeah, I know the people that are listening can't see them, but I thought the emojis really added to this. But to me, this poem described the perfect Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Using the word wonder is that very spirit of Christmas, that it's not every other day of the year. Something finally overcomes you, which is like the actual ghost, so you know that his birth really happened. When you have that sense of wonder on a Christmas night or on the Christmas day, it's not anything that's controlled by the human mind, but really the very sense of religion about the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think,
You
hon?
go around blitz, seeing the cold temperature, and even that's just some kind of beguiling wonder.
Let me get the number up for him.
Yeah, I thought, Crystal, this was a very beautiful write. You know, it does embody what Christmas Eve is about for most families. You know, it's got the warm, cozy feel. You know, you got the fire risk and cookies and milk under the warm blanket. Cuddles, smiles, just enjoying the evening, the love, and it's just wonderful all around. I know that people can't see it, but I love the emojis because they're oversized, but they're cute. They help to draw the right in more so in a cute way. It's very heartwarming, right?
Thank you, Kay.
Yes, indeed. And Becky, what did you think?
Well, congratulations on several awards for this, Crystal. I see gold and a couple of silvers. So well received poem. And I agree, it's a perfect poem for this time of year. It's so sweet and colorful, and the images, the written images, are excellent, but emphasized with the color that you added to it, and the pictures. I think this is something I'd like to read to my grandchildren when I see them tomorrow, because I've collected a few poems, and some that have been written, that have been read on some of the recent shows. So I would like to add this one too, because they were particularly loved. Looking at it as we read. I'm giving all of my grandchildren, I'm giving them all books with poetry this Christmas. Not me, not my poetry. I'm planning on a book sometime, but I'm poetry for children as appropriate to their age, trying to introduce them. Although a couple of my grandchildren have actually written some poems. So this is a way to do it, to show them my site, and I share some of the poetry with them. So I would like to do that.
Well, Becky, I have a whole bunch of children's poems. I even have them in like a little list or whatever if you ever want to look at those.
Yes,
I have a whole bunch of them.
Because I do that often. I read them poetry off the site that is tailored, for them. So I will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope what's going on in my house is not picking up on this radio show. I mean, I'm right now in the custody of Russian agents like the ones you see on the news. So, I mean, Mr. Moreau might get off to that on Christmas night, but that's Philip's taste.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't do anything.
There's no audio back there, is there, of what's going on here with those doors?
No, we don't hear nothing.
Nope, we don't hear it. You're good.
All right.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Where'd you want to go, hon?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
No, there's nobody else. Okay. Thank you, Crystal, for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I would say longer.
Crystal, really enjoyed that one. And
I didn't think you could comment. I'm sorry, Sky. I thought you were busy.
Well, I can't make like really great comments because I'm like running around listening to you guys. But see, this is what it's. Even though like you have to run around and do stuff, I enjoy listening to you guys because it's beautiful poetry. It was really, really, really done well. It made me smile, and I can't quote any lines right now, but I really, really enjoyed listening to it. And I will go back. I usually go back and they usually go in my queue.
Thank you,
It's a long queue, though. It's a really long queue.
I got through 60 of my queue yesterday.
Yeah. It's like when you call something for tech support and it says your place in queue is 78th.
Oh, yeah.
Or sorry, the voice usually changes. Your place in queue is 78th.
Coincidentally, it's the same voice that used to be serious, and then after that, Amazon didn't have any more voices except Samuel L. Jackson, so now it sounds something like a tape running backwards.
Where did you want to go from here on?
Well, okay. You want have Becky, please?
Becky, would you like to read for Sapphire Star?
Sure, I'd love to. So, I'll pull that up. Okay. And this is called A Winter's Journey. Winds whistling shrill. Its crisp Christmas biting to the bone. Tranquility surrenders to sight and sounds. Beneath ink-hued skies, as wreaths of snow billow, across a twinkling threshold, covering the frozen landscape, euphoria listening with wonder. As journeys traverse, destinations unwavering, passing endless emerald silhouettes shrouded in snow, a minute cadence of voices, a whispered lull, passages read, pages fading into darkness, lamplights flickering dimly, crystalline shimmerings on frosted panes, where minds mingle, magical dreams hold secrets of season's yearning reincarnate. A lone tear falls, not of sorrow, but a continuum of memories past in poem.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it, Becky?
Well, this is what I call elegant. It's a beautiful written painting of nature, in particularly a winter scene. And I know I'm a broken record, but I absolutely love winter imagery. I say that so many times, and I write about it all the time. I write about winter in summer. I don't know what it is. It may have something to do with where I am in life myself.
Yeah, there's certain writers that it's a season that overcomes them when they take the pen. For me, it's usually fall. I find myself referring to the fall more than winter.
Yeah, it used to be fall, and now I'm writing winter and just drawn to it. But she did a really good job of describing that crisp, frozen landscape and even infusing it with the euphoria and kind of even a philosophical tone to it, I think, especially the yearning reincarnate. Yeah, and the lone tear falls, not of sorrow, but a continuum of memories past. I really like the ending a lot. Really great poem, Star.
Yeah, I agree. I like you said, it's beautiful imagery. But I saw that last line really hit me. Yeah. It really made me think about it, and I reread the poem and read that last line a couple of times, and I thought, to me, it's speaking of during the whole year, but especially during the holidays, bittersweet memories of those who have left us. Yeah. They fill our hearts and minds, and that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I do agree with the imagery though, that she really brought that and painted a picture with what she said, and makes you even feel it. You could even feel it chilling. Yeah. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, I have to agree with what you say, because I write a lot of winter rights. Last year I wrote a lot of wintry rights. This season I already have a handful of winter rights. There's something about winter, when you bring winter in with emotions, it's very metaphoric, but it can also have a very meaningful impact as far as beauty that you can bring to the rights. I definitely see the metaphors of nature, but I have to agree with the end. It did bring on a different twist, because I saw the sadness that carries nostalgia. It's a beautiful right all around. It, has very whimsical, light imagery, but then the ending ties it together well.
Yes, and let's welcome my friend Hatter into the room.
Hatter!
Yeah.
Greetings, Adder.
Long time no see, man. What's going on?
Well,
Merry
it's
Christmas.
been a while.
Merry Christmas.
Raz, nice to meet you, Adder.
Hey, who's this?
Raz.
Raz.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
Hatter.
Quite a name there, sir. Did you take that from Mr. Carroll, or did he borrow it from you? The hat.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm old, but not that old. No, I took Hatter, yeah.
He wears a hat.
That's right, because I got the
thought
hat.
that's what it was. Yeah, because you wear a hat.
They say the doctors say I'm much better now, so
Mad Hatter.
See, that was the
Every
Mad
day,
Hatter.
every way.
Angry.
The angry
Can you hear
Mad
that?
Hatter.
All you
the
have is
anger in my-
parallel realities going on here with the screen names. They should not be taken out of context into metaphor, because what Winter's Journey describes is like a painting straight out of the 1900s. If it was used to the mind to imagine the right way, that Sapphire Star might have intended deeper in the verse. Right here, over the frozen landscape, there's the thought of the lamps, literally all that's lighting up the winter darkness. Those might be actual connotation tunes as to what setting she had in mind. The lamplight.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
As with any poetry, so many different ways to see it.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Did Hatter bring in?
Oh, Hatter, did you bring me a
Yes.
present?
Yes, I did. I got to go get it. I'm still wrapping it.
Oh, boy.
Hold on.
It's Christmas Eve, Hatter. You're not wrapped yet.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no. You're lucky to get it in a bag.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Was it Steve Winwood?
No. The Fabulous Thunderbirds.
The Fabulous Thunderbirds. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Great
Fabulous
song.
Thunderbirds?
I remember them.
Well, yeah.
The band, yeah,
They're from the 80s.
from the 80s.
Mhm. Yeah. They were great, like
We didn't have them.
rockabilly.
Yeah.
You mean you don't mean ACDC or ZZ Top? What was that band that did the Fabulous Thunderbirds? You know, Steve. You know everything about the 80s for some reason. In fact, isn't it another night we're gonna have a reading on a song by that old 80s singer who did the old time song on some other night?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've done a few from the 80s. We did Sting.
Yeah. Mhm.
We did Billy Joel.
Mhm.
Back. Christmas King, Billy Joel, Crime and Isley. I'm ready for.
Oh, you're talking about the one coming up on Thursday from Dan Fogelberg.
Yeah, Fogelberg. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. Gotta look at that.
Yep,
What
Thursday's
happened?
theme. Might as well just say
Dan
it
the
now.
Man Fogey.
We're right into the same old lang syne.
Yeah, it's a good song. I already wrote mine.
I gotta write mine.
Yeah, mine actually came very easily. I listened to a song many times on Sunday, and then boom, the write was done in like 10 minutes. It's definitely one of those songs you can relate to.
I was in a trance. I could not hear that song and not want to write something down about love always being lost. I mean, that's like the most tragic song we have in there, other than maybe I would think Carmen's All By Myself, but it's always never go there with Carmen's All By Myself. I couldn't help myself again. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, we just lost Hatter.
He might come.
He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back.
That Hatter.
I heard him say, "Oops, what happened?" And then all of a sudden,
Sounds familiar.
where did you want to go then?
Yeah. Well, Joseph said on the board David Bowie. I didn't do any David Bowie here, but I did in a Team of Voices.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you meant for the shows that we did or for the song that you were trying.
He was talking about the Dan Fogelberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odd Lodge.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
How do you pronounce that, Stephen? The oldest song of time in ancient German, the way it's titled, by Folgenberger.
Old Lang
Syne. Old Lang Syne.
Old
Lang Syne.
Old Lang Syne. Let's see. Because that's ancient German, right?
I honestly don't know the answer to that one. I'd have to look it up.
I believe so.
It might be Latin. I was thinking it was Latin.
No, that's German.
We'll find out in a second.
Yeah, well,
everybody's looking. I look at too.
All right, everybody's looking.
Yeah, I think that's Scottish? No.
Welcome back, Hatter.
Yeah, I let Hatter back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
It's Scottish. It's Scottish.
That's why I asked you. I asked you if you were all right because I heard you say, "Oops, what happened?" and then all of a sudden you were gone.
They used to have that advertised everywhere, like hundreds of years ago in Western Europe. It might have originally come from Latin, but had different purposes over the years. Like what you hear of the New Year's song. For all times we've had our hopes. If anyone can remember the lyrics.
Yeah.
I could come up with Scottish Gaelic.
Scottish Gaelic.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I found that it was Scottish.
Yeah.
Written by Robert Burns in Scotland in 1788.
I like the way you say that.
Oldest on some side about Auld Lang Syne. However, it does say it was based on a traditional folk song, so there's no telling when that traditional folk song came from or when. He just made it into a written song. Yeah.
That's the thing about that. Sting put out the CD of old Scottish Norwegian folk songs, and it's absolutely terrible.
Really?
It's terrible?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Look it up.
Look it up.
The Balkans
Happy worse than William Shatner's Christmas album.
We listened to that the other night. It was fun. It was humorous.
It was definitely funny.
Yeah.
What's the story? Morning Glory's not Scottish too. I mean, all these titles, they just amount to more Western Europe references.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was my generation. I was in the '90s. I hear Folgenberger. Why I had this kind of traumatic experience hearing his song. I must have blocked it out the first 7 years of my life, and all I could do was just want to write down the poem of that very thought of how much loss there was in childhood compared to what you develop later in life if you don't start off with some kind of peculiar sense of suppression. I mean, of other songs that affected me in childhood, Carmen's all by myself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
passed that time.
Yeah?
Yeah. We could discuss that more on Thursday, though, because that's when we're going to really be talking about the song a lot. So we'll move along with our holiday poetry. And Hatter, did you finish wrapping your present?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I did. An oldie but goodie. I was going to do Double Dog Dare. Have you heard Double Dog Dare? Ah, come on.
You know what the Triple Dog Dare is?
That's the one I'll do. Come on, computer.
Cool.
Come on.
You gotta love computers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. They do fine until you got somebody waiting on you. Okay. And I got a new group. Poetic Slice of Life. But that can mean a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. All Lang Sang is a New Year's anthem, which was written by Mr. Robert Burns in 1788. It's not originally a Dan Fogelberger song.
Well, no, we knew it wasn't.
No, we
All right, Hatter.
Oh my.
Double Dog Dare. This is from growing up. Growing up, there were words to show who you are. The medals are shown by the number of scars. No questions, no crying, no evil-eyed stare. Once someone told you, I'd double dog dare. When someone's failed, the stunt gone wrong, setting it back up never took too long. The quiet that followed the minute or two was checking the gear and the tying of shoes. Sisters don't know or even care the meaning of the words double dog dare. A mother will stop it, as she knows the harm, a scrape, a bruise, maybe a broken arm. A father knows and will try to soften the pain. Put some more padding down. Are you insane? You have to be cool and never be scared, because there's no backing down to a double dog dare. To be the first to jump or to swing too high is never look backing down or even ask why. If you survive your youth and when you grow old, the important stories that will always be told, funniest and the ones you will share, are the stories that begin, I double dog dare.
That's true.
Yes, it is. From the youth, that's I double dog dare. When you get older, it's hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, hold my beer. I was always, I can do that. I can do that. My big brother go, no, you can't. Yeah, I can.
Mr. Hatter, this is like Robert Hunter when he was at his freshest with the Grateful Dead in the 70s, you know. Just bring it on down what it's like to go through those male rituals that hopefully one day someone won't remind you when you're quietly alone with your wife. Right, Steve?
I did that.
Yeah. Of course, this made me think of a Christmas story. Putting the tongue on a frozen flagpole, but yeah, this is awesome and so true. I can remember being dared to walk across the railroad trestle that went over the bridge by where I grew up. Well, I'm still
How far
here.
down? Was there water underneath?
Yeah, the Grand River went underneath it, but that was always a frightening thing, because my dad used to love to talk about the undertow of the Grand River and how it'll just drag you down under if you jump in there.
Yeah.
So to fall in was a certain death in my mind as well. So
I just played chicken with traffic instead of the double dog dares when I was younger. For the whole, what would you refuse to do, but it would show you have bravery. Unfortunately, the traffic did not run me down what I'm doing on this show right now.
What'd you think?
I remember backing down to one.
Oh. Go ahead, Hatter.
I when I was in high school, a bridge out here that crosses the American River above Fulton Lake. It's the Salmon Bridge, and the arcs, you climb up on the top of the arc, you guys would jump off it. And we hadn't done it. Freshman in high school, sophomores, whatever. And I look at it, thank you.
Hatter, you break it up.
Better? No.
too quiet.
I'll call back.
Okay.
All right.
The reception's static.
Yeah.
You wrote dog there.
Go ahead, hon.
Yeah, it makes me think of a
Would
Christmas
you let the
story.
river sweep with you under? This was sometime in which surveillance cameras existed, right? Because that's a really hard challenge right there. Would your grandfather coax you this way, Stephen?
No.
Or
My
your
father
father?
warned me about the river. My father warned me about the river. My friends were the ones that dared me to go across it.
Yeah.
Or my so-called friends.
Everyone has their coming of age ritual. You see that's similar to Lord Byron. Why he was known to be a hero, not just a poet, is that he swum the entire English Channel all by himself. When you have your original double dog there. Did you know that about Lord Byron?
No.
No, I did not.
Now I know.
Yeah. Well,
Just trying to find something relevant to the theme,
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Or did you want to wait till Hatter comes back, or just roll?
Well,
Did you
still
cross the
gonna roll.
river, or
Okay.
were your friends just really taunful about that kind of deer?
No, I made it across.
Yeah.
No train came.
Sooner or later, don't we all?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to not talk for a little while because I'm going to be getting where I'm going. But can I make a comment about Hatter's Peak? Yeah,
Sure.
So I thought it was great. And like I said, I don't have it in front of me, but the nostalgia of it was absolutely beautiful in the closing. I loved the entire piece. I mean, it was brilliantly done. But the closing to me was very touching. It was very full of nostalgia, and the way that he said, there are stories that you'll tell your whole life, but the best of them are the ones that start with Double Dog Dare. And the way that he tied in the Double Dog Dare throughout the piece, and then to end it with that, I thought it was such a great way to do it. It was like a nice little neat envelope. It was absolutely done well. I really liked the details about, and forgive me if I quote this wrong, but about the dad putting the padding down and the mom being worried because moms tend to be a little bit more protective, and that's it is a stereotype a little bit, but it is true. Moms tend to be a little bit more protective, and dads tend to be a little bit more lenient when it comes to kind of crazy things. So I liked how the dad was putting down the padding, and the mom was just worried. So I liked those details in it. But like I said, the closing, it was a beautiful, beautiful closing. Very well done.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Hatter. Yep, Sky liked your poem.
Sky.
I did that when you first came in, and you didn't do it. I said Hatter, and then you didn't do it. I thought we were fighting.
What were we fighting? That little spat we had. No. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Because I would have said something.
There's going to be a whole rally out at Raleigh.
Sky.
Yeah, that's our calling. Hatter.
That's kind of like the intro to the leader of the pack, right? Or did I get that wrong?
What's that?
Sky, leader of the pack.
Sky, sure.
I'm not a leader of the pack. I don't want that kind of job. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That is not my job.
Yeah, so just
Kay's the
following
leader
me.
of the pack.
Okay.
I met him at the candy store. He turned around and smiled at me. Do you get the picture?
The leader
Anybody
of the pack.
She's sweet.
Hey, do you know who plays piano on that song?
I may know all the words. I may know all the words to that song. I may.
Sky, do you know who played piano on that?
Only on me assuming a pattern of a rhythm of somebody else's voice. I mean, I don't know how I do this. But Sky, I don't mean to put you in an awkward position. I have my own songs, from the '60s.
What was your question?
I don't do renditions, however, when I try to behave with other people.
Sky, I was asking, do you know who played piano on that song?
No.
It was a very young Billy Joel.
Yeah, he was 16.
Oh my.
16-year-old Billy Joel.
What's with these piano players? They had to sneak into the gig to play because they were underage. They're all piano players.
Yeah. Yep. All right, hon. Go ahead and comment on Hatter's poem. You know you want to.
Yeah, I've been trying to. The one line from Christmas Story. Remember when he was talking about we darn well knew it was best not to tell him, or
not to get caught.
Not to get caught. Yeah. When you're talking about the double dog dare, when the teacher was asking in the movie, who did this? I know that you know.
Yeah.
And trying to lay the guilt trip on the kids too, and they're just all looking like, I don't know. Yeah. It makes me think to that movie, but also it is kind of true. It's kind of crummy logic that if your friends double dog dare you, you just can't back down.
You have to do it.
Yeah, and that sucks.
Got it.
Yeah, when I did the railroad
it's
trestle,
really mostly about ritualism within society. You have your double dog dare. People go through this during a certain period of time when they're young, and when you're finally told to go through that trial, it's not a question of backing out or telling your parents. Usually the kid has no other choice but to do the double dog dare.
Exactly.
Yeah. Becky, did you want to comment? If you're not on mute.
Yes, I'm here. I was on mute, listening. Once a show at least. But I would love to comment on Hatter's poem, of course. I love his poetry. This one is no exception. It took me back. There are memories there for me, too. And I have to say that this sister did know, and I did care. And you did not say double dog dare me because I was going to do it. Yeah, and I always loved it. So the best way to get somebody in trouble that I remember as a child was to double dog dare them to do something because they would do it and they would get in trouble. Like, especially my little sister. She was an easy target. But the other part I like is you have to be cool. Can never look scared. No backing down to a double dog dare. That's my favorite 2 lines. And it's true. Very true. Hatter, once again, you surprised me with I know this is from 5 years ago, but the different directions your poetry takes. It's always something new, some surprise. And I enjoyed this very much tonight.
I thank you very much. I remember struggling with this one. It mentions it in the author's notes too. It says this one I had been trying to finish for months.
Huh. Wow. So it sounds like it just flowed, off your tongue, but it's really good either way.
I was the little brother that hung around the older guys. That I remember this one time we had where I grew up down in San Francisco, down the Bay Area. We had these pretty steep hills, and they had these eucalyptus trees that would grow on the side of them. They were absolutely huge. It was like a jungle underneath it. And somebody would get these ropes and tie them up on there, and they'd swing out. Now, when you swung out on this big-ass rope, if you were to fall on the full extent of the swing, you would probably drop a good 60 feet before you'd hit ground and then at the slope. So I remember when you're a little kid, that looks like flipping fun, right?
Yeah.
So we're checking. My brother's with me. He goes, I don't know, man. Look at that rope. I go, no, it'll take me. He goes, no, I don't know about that rope. It'll take me. So everybody's daring me to do it. So I get out there and I run around the side of it, the slope, and head on out. And it swung me around, and come right back, and I got off, and everything was fine. Next guy to do it was an older guy, and he was heavier than me, probably quite a bit. Mm-hmm. He gets out to the full extent of that swing, and pop, the rope breaks, and he disappears, man, over this freaking ledge. Me and my brother ran home. We really didn't know these guys. Didn't know these guys. We don't know. He just disappeared.
Wow.
Sure, he's all right. Sure, he's okay.
Yeah.
Let's welcome my big brother Joseph Moon into the call. Hello, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Joseph Moon. You write some wonderful
Merry
poems.
Christmas.
For
Merry Christmas.
Noodle
Merry
shells
Christmas,
before you
evening
win.
day.
Merry Christmas.
How is everyone? How is everyone this evening?
Doing
Good.
well. How are you?
Good.
Okay. I was battling the procrastinating shoppers tonight in traffic, but other than that, I'm fine now. I have a nice glass of Cabernet here, listening to some great poetry along my journey, and I'm happy to be here. Merry Christmas to I believe Becky's in the studio with Hatter and Buzz and Sky.
Yep.
Sky.
Just
Merry
Christmas to anyone is in reality. Joseph Moon sounds mortal right here on this radio blog. That is not his poetry. There's an immortal voice there.
Merry Christmas, one and all.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There's actually, Joseph, I'll be drinking wine later on today too. So finally.
Well, hi, Steve.
Outstanding. You can't go wrong with wine.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tonight I fire up the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol and open a bottle of wine. I do it every Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wonderful tradition. I'm guessing.
Really is.
I'm guessing Worf will be on your lap as you do that.
Probably.
One time.
Can you simulcast that?
Do I simulcast it? I could put the webcam of me sipping the glass of wine if you want to watch that.
That'd be cool.
I was thinking of a movie, but okay. That's good.
That should be fun.
Yep. Sounds fun.
Do you want to put Joseph's poem down?
Sure.
Oh, my.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah.
Nice place you got here.
Hey, thanks.
The walls. Yeah.
One more voice on this line, and I'm going to think you all wrote Stephen King's Hearts in Atlantis. You're just trying to scare me because I'm Bobby.
That's a good book.
Yeah.
Is it? Buzz, you're on, right, Buzz?
That's Raz.
Raz.
Raz, I'm sorry. I'm okay. It's Raz. I heard you mention Byron a little bit earlier. I was stuck in traffic. I only caught the end of it. Something about he swam the channel.
This is a true story. Why he was a known hero during his time.
He was a champion swimmer in his day. A part of his legacy, a lot of folks may not know. I'm guessing you may know if you're a historian and a reader of his work. He wanted to die a knight's death, so he actually went to Greece and fell on his sword, took his own life. He died. I think he was about 35, maybe 36. I want to say.
Wow.
I knew there had to be someone else to fill out the rest of that bio. Because to tell you the truth, that's as far as I got. I never heard about his death. This is the first time.
Yeah.
This sounds something straight out of like the Bible. You have the Archangel Gabriel realizing he's forbidden God, and now it's just die from the sword.
Yeah, I mean legend has it that he was like, without, I don't think there's any children listening, but he was a prolific libertine and sodomite. But I mean, other than that, he was a great poet. But he also wanted to die he wanted to die a knight's death, and he actually went to Greece, fought in some small war, and then fell on his own sword. But that's a very interesting though that I heard you mention. Like I said, I caught the very end.
I only had that part of the bio, and maybe some other stories, but not that. This is the first time I hear of it. Thank you for informing me, Mr. Moon.
I did a lot of reading on all the great romantic poets over of the English romantics, and long time ago.
I have been led to believe mostly right. I mean, only a hero is going to realize finally that there's something beneath his belt, and that's the only thing that causes death.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Back then, they considered taking your life an honorable death. Obviously, it was big in the Asian culture. The samurais used to always fall on their sword as opposed to be captured or die in their bed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let's not get on. Let's not talk about dying. Do we have any more poetry going on?
In those times, just a couple of hundred years, the form of if you committed suicide through an act of your own self-will, then you're proving more strength than even God would have in always having to defend you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
that's like ancient military. This man's death proves his knighthood. Lord Byron was a wonderful poet, but I mean, in the end, I think we are led to believe, those who read his great works, that he was mentally stable at this.
Yeah.
This is the first time anyone mentioned to me that Byron committed suicide. I mean, that's all you're really explaining, right?
Yeah.
Or did I get that wrong?
Yeah.
Because we're digressing. Let's move forward.
Yeah, let's get back on the holiday poetry subject.
Let's get on the poetry. Okay.
Yeah, and Joseph.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best read on my poem for my lovely daughter, who I'm guessing. I believe she's listening in. She told me she would listen in tonight. To listen for me. I wasn't sure what time I would get on. I told her between 12 and 12:30. So Sam, my lovely daughter, I know you're out there listening, and this one is for you, dear, and it's called Christmas Couplets for an Angel, and it is all couplets indeed. A brown-eyed tiny child with curious mind that no one on earth shall ever find. She smiled in my soul when she 'twas 3. Like azure skies, my love will never cease to be. From snow that melted quickly only yesterday, the minutes and years, oh how they flew away. My pink princess bloomed into a lovely lady. I wish rather to be her dad than be Tom Brady. My true love hath my heart, and I have hers. Her deep, dark eyes where my pride stirs. There never been a better bargain driven. Unconditional love without a reason given. Oh, darling daughter, beautiful in my sight, my heart and soul's eternal light. I would give you the world if I were mine to own. Remember, on life's journey, you will never be alone. A dad's love follows his daughter wherever she shall flown. Merry Christmas, Sam. End poem.
Beautiful.
My girl.
That's wonderful coming from the father. I mean, this is beautiful right here. What you have is the encouragement that bonds like family just have no way of really dying in the light. That fundamental message is there within the verse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you kindly.
I
Thank
think this
you
is
kindly,
wonderful,
Raz.
Joseph. Sorry.
I see a match between Joseph Moon. I mean, he's not all these other writers on this site. This man is deeper than I think maybe the world has been led to believe if he's not even publishing some of his work.
Yeah.
I missed the beginning of what you said, my friend. I'm sorry.
There's
so
more
you got
here
a lot of fans,
to the way he forms the whole stanza than someone who's just begun. I mean, how long have you been at this practice, Mr. Moon? Has it been 30, 40 years? You sound like you've mastered the entire art every time I read your verses.
I've read a lot. I've wrote a lot.
I'm not the one kidding, though. I mean, I would recommend you if I knew someone, which I don't, to actually read your poems.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, I wouldn't. I don't look to be published for any kind of fame or fortune. I prescribe to the Emily Dickinson theory. When they asked her about publishing her work, she said, "Publishing one's work is an auction of the mind." So I don't need to do that. I'll leave all my words for my children and grandchildren. They could do whatever they would like to. I'm just happy to bring all the folks at AP and my loyal readers some joy and happiness, and at times I'm sure tears. Gibran said you can't have sorrow, you can't have joy without sorrow. So
true.
I feel the same way. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Is Becky still with us?
Yeah.
Well, no, she left.
Oh, did she leave?
Well, she's got a big day ahead of her.
That's true. Yeah.
So she had to tuck out.
Yeah.
She
I would like to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say Becky probably acquired a melancholy ear listening to us ramble here. I thought she just left. She probably just had to pack it in. I don't. But anyway, no, I know she was on earlier because I was listening in my car on the way and everything, and things were going in and out. So
Becky's
I'm just happy to be. I'm just happy to be here with you folks on this glorious Christmas Eve. Now we're in Christmas, and Kay, I always love waking up to. I always love waking up to your comments in the morning, Kay, with my coffee, juice, and whatever I happen to have laying around the house to feast on, and it's always great reading your comments.
That's good because I actually, before I go to bed every night, I try to make sure I hit your page before I go to sleep. That's like my last thing I do before I go to bed.
Well, it's actually great to go to bed if you have put some wisdom in your head before you go to bed. You'll wake up refreshed and wiser, which is a good thing for all of us.
It is.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to listen. I'd like to listen in. What time is the show over this evening?
It's supposed to end 15 minutes. So I think we're gonna. Then on Christmas Day you start singing the All Lang Sing because it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's scheduled to end at 1, but.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll listen in and I'll try to comment. I'll listen in and comment accordingly, and I hope I don't get disconnected or anything. If someone calls me or texts me or whatever, I don't know how this phone will react. That's the first time I'm using this phone for this activity, but
okay.
I'm looking forward to the next half hour or whatever it may be.
All right. Did you?
Well, yeah. Before you tuck out, I just want to say, Joseph, I love your write. The words are beautiful, and from the heart of a parent to another parent, this is just wonderful all around in the message. Our children, they bring us such happiness and joy, and it fills the heart in ways that nobody will know until you become a parent. There's something about having children. You're right. It's from the heart. It's beautiful.
I agree.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hatter had an entire different thought on Byron. This is exactly what I might have heard myself. You see, he looked it up somewhere, and what it says when he went
move forward.
At the war for the Greeks, he unfortunately died of disease, not over the sword.
I know, but Raz, we gotta move forward. We can't keep bouncing all over. We still have more to get through. We're trying to get comments on
Let's go on ahead. There must be some lessons there.
Get some comments.
All right. Well, first I'd like to comment because I read this earlier and I thought it was wonderful. And to hear you read it too makes it even better. But like I had said in my comment, our children hold special places in our hearts, and to us they'll always be our little boys or little girls or our babies, especially at Christmas time. So yeah, I really like the feeling that you put into this, Joseph, and I'm glad she was listening to hear her father read. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you kindly, Steve. I appreciate it, and I'm sure she's wherever she's at right now. She's smiling, and we're looking forward to getting together Thursday for a nice daddy-daughter dinner together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Cool, awesome. Who else we still got? Hatter, did you want to comment on Joseph's poem?
Oh, Hatter's still
I
here.
think the line was the best. I think the best line was "Daddy daughter dinner." That's sweet.
Nah, the best line was the eternal light. That you can't actually get away from the light.
I was temporarily disconnected from my internet. I wasn't able to follow.
Okay, that's all right. Who else we got?
Well, Sky's busy.
Sky's busy.
Yeah, drinking all that vodka earlier probably wasn't helping.
No, that doesn't help.
I didn't know it till I stood up. Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, Sky's listening.
So
She is. This is more for her Christmas.
Where did you want to go from here on?
I am Jonathan Rock Dan.
All right.
And I will read that.
You're going to read Dan's?
Okay.
No.
What?
Boot ho.
Yeah, boot ho. The journey of a Philomax. The moment in the southern seas, a Philomax journeys began. It sung a tune of rise and moon, clouds of white and glowing light, tippy-toed as it snowed, even flakes, such tasty tweaks. Philomax hipped and it hurried, like being on a Philomax parade. A step and four, twitch and more, of Durthan frost, like Philomoth. Spin and twos, jump and do, laugh and grin on smiling tunes. And as it sang to its content, the night had showed and came and went. The sun rose high up in the sky, icicles played as they swayed, natural keys of A and G, icy songs of harmony. Philomax took in the view, oh, 'tis such a pretty hue. I love the mountains and frozen streams. If I had slept, oh, such wondrous dreams. Skipped froze lands and clapped cold hands. It hopped happily and shirked and shrieked scrappily. To and fro, head to toe, back and forth, it headed north. Now the journey ebbed to a close, it rubbed its face and rooty nose. Stopped the home of lively gnomes, it knocked on door with knocked forth. A portly gent, gray hair and beard, opened it, a hearty stare. Welcome, oh welcome, said he with glee, was popped a letter for him to see. The portly gent let out a laugh so loud it startled the entire staff. A glided note of worthy cause, addressed to he, named Mr. Claus. And phone. That was a tongue twister.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like this. I saw in his author's notes that he was trying to go like a kind of a Dr. Seuss type thing here, and I thought that was great. I thought it did read definitely like a Dr. Seuss book.
Okay.
I really like the wordplay and the rhyme. I don't know what I'm not sure what a Frilomax is. Is that in Wonderland, Hatter? But no, this is awesome.
I don't believe so.
Oh, Kay's gonna look.
It's
you don't happen to know the Jabberwockies?
Oh yeah.
I know the Jabberwockies
Personally.
in Wonderland.
Personally, yeah.
It's something from a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
It is the Frilomax is definitely something from a Dr. Seuss.
This is a whole new level, Steve. I think you've finally been through like all our history in under 2 hours. So if no one's read by tonight, I don't know. Myself.
for sure.
Yeah. What did you think, hon?
Yeah, it definitely had the aspect of Dr. Seuss, who did it very well. But I was picking up on the Grinch throughout the whole write. But, you know, it was a tongue twister. I went in cold with this one. So, but yeah, I like the way that it reads because, you know, with the Grinch, he started out kind of grumpy, but then, you know, towards the end, he opened his heart. So I don't know. I could be wrong. And as I said before, you know, a lot of people write, and it could take on so many different meanings for anybody who looks at it. But for me, I definitely am seeing moments of the Grinch in the word.
Yeah. Yeah. Joseph, what did you think?
Well, I think Dan's a very interesting writer. I think he's well versed. You know, from he could do haiku, he could go into, he can do sonnets, and in reading this, and I'm not familiar with the term Philomax as well. I'm going to have to look that up a little bit later. I hate going to bed without knowing what a word means. But anyway, I think Dan captured this. The interesting. He did some interesting things here. He started with some, you know, with rhyming couplets, and then he went into like a, you know, a double quatrain, so to speak. And I read a lot of his work, and I got to look. Yeah, I mean, he normally doesn't do any forced rhymes, but there's a whole lot of. I mean, it looks like he's doing a lot of forced rhymes here, but I don't know if that was for some type of. If he did it intentionally for the humor end of it, because this is actually has a wonderful piece of wit here. I'll have to contact him during the week, and find out if he was looking to do forced rhymes here. Because there's a whole lot of forced rhymes, which are actually fun, and they work well in this interesting piece. But I think it's a wonderful piece of wit by my poet friend Dan. End comment.
Yeah, that's the insane world of Dr. Seuss.
Is that what that is?
Forced rhyme sound. It is. If you've tried,
yeah.
He's insane. Try writing like him. I've tried it. I'll tell you what. There's more genius into it than you'd think. When you see kids' books, you go, okay, red dog, blue dog, blah blah blah. But when you get into the more storylines, quite the evil genius.
Yeah. This is why they assumed Dr. Seuss was an unknown psychologist named Dr. Zeus, and how from there we kind of start straying away from language sometimes because of those early childhood memories and Dr. Seuss books.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. It's an interesting comment. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, I mean, I guess Dr. Seuss was like.
He's a pseudonym. No one really learned the man's name. I guess that was an industry biz. How they released the titles. Yeah, it's really a
he created slang before slang was invented. It would look like to me. I mean, he's very, you know, like Hatter said, he's an evil genius, like basically. So yeah, and this poem it personifies him to a T. So I think it's a great write.
Yeah, they slam their slardinkas and jam their wonkas, and you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like it.
I'll tell you what.
The only terrifying thing about this right is if all that's supposed to be nonsense, but somehow there's a logical pattern. How come the Philomax might have not intentionally tried to find Santa Claus, but he had the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Deep, Dan. It's deep.
Yeah, you have to pick his brain on that one.
You know what makes the Grinch, the classic, what it is Boris Karloff narrating it. What a great voice to read Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I love the Karloff voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name that sang. sang the song, but it wasn't Karloff. It was the guy who did the Tony the Tiger voice originally. It was the guy who sang the songs in the concert.
I wouldn't want to be obvious, but I mean, the Philomax has to be a messenger that actually delivers things to Santa Claus. That's the answer to the definition, right? Or is Voodoo just playing along with a word that's in the English language? It's Philomax. The only solution to this poem is that the messenger delivered the letter.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome view. Where did you want to go, honey?
Yeah, I'm going to have you read Chris, then I'll have Brad read John's last one, and then I will read Heavenly.
All right. So I'm going to read for Chris, for C. Nastu. Obviously, he wrote to.
Yeah.
This is called The Red Rider. It goes like this. I shot my eye out on that Christmas day. I was so happy with my new Red Rider. Dad had a smile and Mom a whisper. Finally found out that Santa was the guy. I went to the doctor. He gave me a patch to put over my eye and to cover the blood. A whole week went by till I finally looked. He was such a liar. It was only a scratch. I bought a metal target that stood so tall. I shot it day after day, enjoying each shot. I kept getting better. I liked it a lot till a ricochet caught me right in the balls. End poem.
If you're going to accidentally shoot yourself with the gun, definitely a Red Rider, a BB, not anything that might be heavier than a caliber in which you might survive the shot.
I like this. I definitely laughed when I read this, and it brought back a childhood memory of mine when me and a bunch of my friends, we had our BB gun rifles, and we had a bunch of cans set up on a guardrail, and we were shooting at them, and one of my shots missed a little low, and I actually could physically see the BB coming right back at my eye, but it caught me in the cheekbone right underneath the eye. Yeah, it wasn't a nice thing. It was a BB. What'd you think of it, Hatter?
That's a good thing that you survived that wound.
Yeah.
I liked it. This is Chris's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when he explains to the doctor. I went to the doctor and he gave me a patch. I put it in my eye to cover the blood. The whole week went by. And finally looked. He was such a liar. It was only a scratch.
Yeah.
Shot my eye out.
Yeah.
How many times have we heard that? Yeah, put your eye out with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the parents wanted to try to scare you.
Yeah.
So that way you wouldn't. But the problem is, sometimes, when you're defiant, you want to rebel against your parents, say, oh, it's not going to happen. Then it does happen. And then they're like, I told you.
Yeah.
So what do you do there?
Boys got to find out for themselves.
That's right. I proved my parents wrong. They told me I'd break my leg if I jumped off the roof. I jumped off the roof. I was fine.
You were defiant. You were.
Yeah, man, it wasn't even a double dog dare, just your parents. That shows some brevity.
No, the truest thing in that poem, Double Dog Dare, was what mothers see and how they react, and how fathers, because they were little boys too. Yeah. Little boys, they just want to make sure you got enough padding. Mom, she wants you to quit, stop.
Exactly.
You know what you just brought to mind, Hatter, is there was a show that used to be on. It only ran for 2 seasons, but it used to make me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
And it was called Titus. Comedian named Christopher Titus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Titus. Badass.
Yeah.
Shortly after 2000.
Yeah. There was an episode where he, as a little boy, it showed him as a little boy, and Stacy Keach played his father, and he had a fork, and he was getting ready to put it. He was getting ready to put it in an outlet, and his mother said, "No, no, no," and Stacy Keach goes, "Wait, go on, do it." And he heard, and said, he said, "See, you won't do that again, will you?"
Yeah. That was a great show. I remember that.
It was.
The FCC card, there was the free licensing right there.
All right. Do you want to get a comment from Joseph on Mr. Nastu's poem?
Yeah.
I think it's another interesting piece of wit here. The adventures of youth, so to speak, daring and trying to make Dad happy by doing manly things, so to speak. I actually thought this was interesting in terms of the first stanza. I wonder how he found out Santa was gay. Maybe Dad told him that Santa was gay. I'm not sure, but it's interesting that in that final. It's interesting in that final stanza where he says, "I finally found out that Santa was gay," and he capitalized the word "was," which that's pretty interesting. And there's nothing else capitalized anywhere else except obviously for the the eyes. And
Is this show rated explicit or PG-13?
PG-13.
Because I mean, I used to hear my friend's dad. He would always say that other word sometimes, like describing whatever happened. I mean, it wouldn't even be a scene out of South Park. This is literally your old-fashioned wisdom here. What the dad said over Santa. Because in reality, how are you gonna get yourself a BB gun and it just goes off in your face? But it's supposed to be a Christmas present, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's a fun ride. I think it's a fun ride. It's a fun holiday ride for sure.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph.
Well, what I said in my comment to Chris is sometimes the unexpected will happen when you least expect it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I saw in his right.
True.
Yeah, man.
You gonna drop J.E.G.'s poem and you want Raz to read?
Sure.
Raz, would you like to read another of
I wouldn't mind
J.E.G.'s poem?
The Wicked Witch of the North Pole, J.E.G. Mr. Gilman, I must be his personal agent because this is the second time tonight. Here we go on The Wicked Witch of the North Pole. Santa didn't add me to his naughty list. I am number 8, a witch that hides in the mist. My goal is to drive that old man far away, kill all the elves, steal his magic sleigh. I think of all the evil things I can do to keep Christmas wishes from coming true. I am the Wicked Witch of the North Pole. I'm going to bury the toy shop in a huge hole. When I am done, no one will find a thing. There will be no carols for anyone to sing. People will forget about love and hope. They will go on drinking and taking dope. I'm just waiting for the moment to strike so I can increase the fear, hate, and dislike. I cackle in glee at my horrible intentions. Yet I am the one Santa forgot to mention. Today I took a good look at our planet and found my time has been well spent. Money has replaced our need for love. Greed is the religion we are made of. Hate and disharmony have reached a high. Truth has been hidden by perpetual lies. Santa is dying with his message unheard. Love has gone the way of the doo-doo bird. I'm going to win because time's on my side. I will be the last one to take a sleigh ride. That will teach Santa for forgetting me, the most famous witch to live in infamy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excellent read.
So,
what did you
I guess
think
what
of
you have
that?
going here is like Stephen King's Dark Tower meets parallel realities again, where all these things live in our imagination. They might have attained a state of being the supernatural. So why would not the witch from Oz go after Santa?
Yeah. Yeah.
see, picture this doo-doo bird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's titled under Dark Fantasies, and to hear the voice of the witch, I personally never really cared for the Wicked Witch of the West, but I think it was a good interpretation of what would be on her mind. She would want to realize that Santa had lost somehow, but right now everyone's having a very good Christmas in reality. Which is the ways of evil, the way it's stereotyped in sort of certain plays, that it has a false sense of reality. Why it should win, but in the end, people just go on try to do their best. They go on try to do what's good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. What did you think, hon?
Well, I like this one because it does speak of what is embraced as a norm, as normal behavior, sadly. But when I had commented on this earlier, it reminded me of a quote by Noel Coward. It's discouraging to think how many people are shocked by honesty and how few by deceit. After I got done reading, I immediately came to that quote because I've come to that quote in my mind a lot through my life. And it does ring true to society where honesty is a bad thing, but deceit's like, oh, okay. And that's actually kind of sad that, that's the norm. It should be the other way around, Honesty should be embraced and not be punished for it. But it seems like being honest, it gets you punished. It gets you beaten up in certain ways. So it's like, why do you even want to be honest if you're just going to get dumped on for it?
Yeah.
So, I like the message all around. When he talks about hate, disharmony, and greed, a lot does need to change. What's so wrong with being honest? We live in a world where it seems like honesty is a bad thing. So,
Yeah.
Great, right, John?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely like that imagery. Wicked Witch of the West, getting ready to, Wicked Witch of the North Pole too, getting ready to take out Santa Claus. But the Wicked Witch of the West, you remember, she had good coffee.
She had good coffee.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Wicked Witch of the West. It was those flying monkeys, man. Man, that's freaking me out. I still feel it to this day. When those monkeys are tearing the scarecrow apart.
Oh yeah.
Screaming out of the room.
Frightening imagery. Joseph, what do you think of that one?
I enjoyed it. I think it's a little dark humor to it. Some interesting metaphors throughout. Obviously, a decent rhyme scheme, and we all can't wear white and glorifying white and/or Santa Claus uniforms. Some of us not have to wear the dark attire of a witch or a devil or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think this is an interesting poem. 6 interesting, longer than that, and 7 interesting quatrains, and the most famous witch to live in infamy. I don't know who's more famous, the witch or Santa. So yeah, it's interesting. I like it.
Yeah. Excellent comment. What do you think, Hatter?
That's a good question. Who's more famous, the witch?
Yeah.
This whole piece, this shows the talent. I'm not familiar with this poet at all, but this guy's good. The cadence was spot on. Nothing seemed forced at all.
Yeah, I think the first line is interesting, Hatter. I don't know if you caught that, where it's just, the witch, Santa didn't add me to his naughty list. Now, was she just mad because she was mad because he didn't add? She wants to be naughty and he didn't add her to the naughty list. Is that like an oxymoron or something like that? It's kind of interesting, the first line, when you think about the rest of the poem. So, she just
exactly.
because like she wants to be naughty and not nice, and she doesn't want to be on Santa's list. You know what I mean? And he So, like, you know, he left her on
How
the
dare
good
I
list.
didn't like it.
She doesn't want to be on the damn good list. She wants to be on the naughty list. But I think it's interesting. I thought the opening line. I think the opening line leaves a lot for interpretation as you read the rest of the quatrains. It's very interesting. Very interesting, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because it does.
Yeah.
It's a vendetta.
Yeah.
How dare I not make that list?
Yeah, I mean.
I'm
This
mad
is
as they go.
confirming ancient fears that I had to do the voice of the witch. I mean, I'm not the witch.
We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting truths in here as well. Like when you say like hate and disharmony have reached a high. Truth has been hidden by perpetual lies. I mean, he could be speaking of the human race, politicians. I mean, priests. I mean, who the hell? But it's just very interesting. There's a lot of dark truisms in within this poem.
What's scary about bringing up the witch?
I'm going to read it over again. It's very interesting.
These are part of lost scripture that there was a witch in the Bible. That's not permitted in the King James version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm like in the second line. I'm interested. It's like interesting. Like I'm number 8. Like, is that supposedly the 8th wonder of the world? I mean, what's the significance of number 8 in terms of going back in time? I mean, is relating to I'm the 8th wonder of the world? Yeah, that's what I mean. That's very interesting. Yeah.
I think he's listening. He just commented. On my comment, so maybe you could get that answered.
Oh, great. Oh,
John.
Good, John.
Stay on the board.
I've never read John's work, but I'm going to start reading it more often. Very good. Yeah. Great work. Great share here. Great share on this, John. It was I enjoyed reading it.
Mr. Kilman, I'm glad to be your solicitor. Another number 1. Thanks for the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You going to read for Heavenly Angel?
I just got that down.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let me get this. I get it. Wow, I like that picture.
Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, this is by Heavenly Angel, and it's called A Silver Lullaby. Christmas magic is in the air, silver bells everywhere. Listen, you can hear families gathered around the Christmas tree, voices blended in harmony. Daddy, do you hear silver bells, the ones you lovingly sang to me of? As I nestled to fall asleep in your loving arms, the ones so full of a daddy's precious love. A strange lullaby to most, I know, but when I heard your voice sing to me, I knew I was loved, cherished, and adored. While your voice rang out in sweet melody, silver bells decorate the tree, shining, tinkling with a gentle sound, a glorious sight to see. Daddy, I know you're in heaven, but whenever I hear those silver bells, I remember back when I was a little girl, when in your arms I was so gently held. I miss you, Dad. May the holidays hold you in a gentle embrace, the embrace of our Father.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a beautiful write. Of course, I read this one, I think about a week ago, when she first wrote it. But it's when we think of our loved ones who have passed on that we think of the memories that make us smile at Christmas time. Especially at Christmas, we try to think of the memories that make us smile. And she shared one of those memories that made her smile. And I thought this was a wonderful write in tribute to her father, and because she has those memories, he's always with her. And this was a wonderful write. What did you think, hon?
Yeah, I have to agree. I loved her write when she first wrote it. I still love it now because it does bring light to the fact that the holidays, while they are happy, you also tend to go back to the loved ones that are no longer here. I know you reflect on your father's loss. I reflect on our son, and I reflect on my one friend, too. You wish all these people to be back. And sometimes celebrating the holidays is hard because it's hard to embrace the happy, knowing that they're not there.
Yeah.
It does make you go back to those old moments, those memories. So yeah, it's a very wonderful write. It speaks of beautiful nostalgia, and it just speaks from the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, anything that has anything to do with dads and daughters, it always touches me. I mean, obviously I'm looking at it. This was written by Heavenly Angel, but I mean, this could be written by my daughter or anyone's daughter and or son, and it's a very poignant, right? And especially this time of year, I think we miss our loved ones. I think we miss them all the time, but I think for some reason for the holiday season we tend to miss our loved ones or the people that we held close, that held us close in their heart, and we also held in our heart. I think that during the holiday season, I think we just miss them. If you, I don't want to use the word more. I just think we think about them or just reminisce the little things, and I guess that's what the season's basically all about. And this poem, like I said, I like it. It's well written, and it's very, like I said, it touches the heart of I would think all parents. So it's a well written, good job, Evan. I enjoyed reading it.
I think you could use the word more because that's the one that describes it the most. Best.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just. I mean, we miss them, so much, maybe so much more, or whatever. But yeah, either way, I mean, it's just like I think it's that time of year where you just, you think of the little things, maybe going to a ball game, watching a football game, maybe having that first beer, and with your daughter, it might be when you bought her like her first, you bought the first bike, and you got her training wheels, and you pushed her around the driveway or wherever, and then she said, "Dad, I can do it on my own," and you just stand there and waving, and you think, "Wow, my little girl's grown up," and then, it's just these are the little things that we remember, and I'm sure that was going through Heavenly's mind here when she wrote this, this lovely tribute in remembrance of her dad. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Well written.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. What did you think, Hatter?
Now this hits home with me. I was absent to my daughters being raised. They were sort of taken from me. I wasn't going to win fighting for them, and I knew that. The memories of growing up, I can only just, my heart aches reading something like this because I wasn't there. Just wasn't there. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Raz, what did you think?
I'm the only one who has a different take on this, even the first time it was read, Heavenly Angel, Silver Bells, or Silver Lullaby. I'm mostly convinced that it's a poem that tries to lay out a trance-like state in which you're left in a village somewhere filled with snow during a blizzard, and the only thing that fills that very village happens to be the Silver Bells.
Yeah, very
but
cool.
I'm a different take on not even having the daughter or the son, so of course I wasn't going to go for anything too emotional on what it's like to be a father, and you're never forgotten in any sense from your children because they're your kin, and that bond is sacred, that bond is forever.
Yes, it is.
It is. But no, I agree with what everybody says. It is hard because there's a lot of different perspectives being shared tonight on her way.
Yeah, but that's the thing about poetry. Everybody sees it in their own way.
That's true.
of which there may or may not be on this site.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here, hon?
That's it.
That's it? So you want to do your acknowledgments?
Yeah. And I will say real quick, because, Dan, I wanted to roll yours over for Thursday because yours for the second one, you read your first one, but the second one was for the contest for a show on Thursday. So I wanted to save that for Thursday because you're going to be talking about Thursday in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But we did read your first one. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who was on board. Joseph was on board for a while before he called in. Night 70 was on the board. Was there anybody else on the board?
No, I think that might have been it.
Okay. And then, of course, the people called in, Raz, Wayne, Becky, Sky, Crystal, Hatter, and Joseph Moon is here. And then we shared rights with Joe Scorian, JEG325, Phil the Poet, Sapphire Star, Boodho, which is Dan, and Chris Nassu, Heavenly Angel, and then Joseph Red, Hatter Red, Crystal Red, Becky, Wayne, Red as well.
Yep. And thank you, Raz, for helping us out with some of the poems that they weren't here.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a great show. I'm glad you had me here to go along with you on the ride. I think there's a sleigh or some man up there with some reindeers who's been waiting a long time to give people some presents this morning.
Yeah, actually, I just checked the tracker. He's in Iowa right now.
Wow. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we talk about the upcoming shows. We are not having a show tomorrow because it's Christmas Day. And take it easy. The day after Christmas, on December 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is our show, The Movement of Sound, and we're going to be discussing and reading poems written, inspired by the song from Dan Fogelberg, The Same Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, and of course, anybody who wants to yeah. You can also share rights about New Year's memories, whether they were good or bad. You don't necessarily have to share rights about the song per se.
No. All right, and then Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday, we are, it's actually Friday this week because of work problems, work issues. And that is at, 7 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah.
We have the movie and quotes from the movie 200 Cigarettes, movie that basically took place all on Christmas Eve. That's at the topic board, and there's a contest for that as well. Check that out. And then next Tuesday is New Year's Eve, and the Mortuary of Shadows will be back with our dark show, and we're going to have, I'm going to be doing that contest tomorrow and putting the topic board up. We'll have quotes and the movie New Year's Evil.
Yeah, from 1980.
From 1980.
All right.
That has nothing at all to do with St. Nick. I mean, the other shows on the Mortuary Shadows. They were discussing another person. I was there.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, and then...
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Be sure to ask Hatter what he's doing.
Yeah. Hatter, you got any shows coming up at Team of Voices?
Yeah, I'm doing tomorrow night. I think it's going to be an early one, so I believe it's 7 o'clock on the Eastern. And I think I think my show will be. I don't know if it's what New Year's Eve, what time show. I usually do mine to the East Coast, so mine would start like 10.
Okay. Cool.
I mean,
we'll probably drop by.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I like to do my plug now again. Remember, if you don't have a smart home by now, try to install a smart home. You can have Samuel L. Jackson actually talk to you every day in order to maintain your house.
That works for me.
Yeah.
He's in every movie.
I'm back, and now you guys are hanging up, and I'm back.
Oh, Sky's back, and we're leaving.
Well, no, we've been here for 2.5 hours.
Hurry up, everybody leave. Sky's here.
I've been here the whole time. You guys have been on my a wireless headset, but I've been like setting up trees and Christmas presents and talking to people, and you guys are just. I could hear your voices, but I couldn't actually hear what you were saying. You were part of my whole couple hours here.
That's awesome. We appreciate you listening in, Sky. We always know that you're there.
I didn't have the smart home installed, but I mean, I know what it's like. Samuel L. Jackson talking at your own house. I don't even understand who these geniuses are that wanted it to be a product.
But,
it's not a
since I made it to the end, Stephen, can I drop a line on my show? I got like a one right in it.
Yes.
Oh, you mean for next Saturday?
Yes, please. Talk about your show.
No, it's this Saturday. It's this Saturday, and I have one right in it. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm panicking, but I'm panicking.
I'll look at it. I keep meaning to look at it, and I haven't had time. I will look at it tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah, we'll have something. I have never saw the Hunger Games, so I'm going to have to write just based on the quote.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So this is the thing. So I just like the Princess Bride, you don't have to write about the book or the movie. So if you it's this Saturday. This Saturday at 9, I've seen the voices, but there's a various prompts, and it's the Hunger Games, book versus movie, and of course, and I've read the book twice, and I've seen the movie about a million times, and you don't have to do either, because after all the characters and and even if you don't know if you don't know what a traffic jacket is, you could just write about a traffic and put a whole new meaning to it. But even if you go down further, there's a lot of quotes. I think there's 22 quotes. There was 30 something. I had to give away my soul to cut them down because I love them so much. And they're not just quotes that you find on the internet. Those are hand-picked quotes that I took directly from the book while reading the book. So they're not just ones that are just floating around the internet. They're actually ones that I handpicked while rereading the book.
Where would we find this? Where would we find this? Where would we find this?
Team of Voices, on the top of the list.
Okay.
Or,
okay,
I think what happened was I have so many contests open for the Christmas countdown. That's kind of flooding out this contest. I think that might be what happened. But if you write their awesome quotes, and you don't have to write about the movie or the book, because we're going to be doing trivia questions like we did last time. So if you don't know anything about it, you're gonna learn some stuff while we're on the show. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to write about the book or the movie when you do the quote. So I opened it up to that. And I'll probably do that with each show. Yeah, I have an answer.
Well, if it's called the Hunger Games, can I just bring some food porn?
No.
If it fits the quote, you can. But I wrote a poem called The Hunger Games, and it was banned from the radio. So
I know. I read it. It was a control.
Did I do that? I banned somebody.
No, they banned me. He was like, this is too much. I think it was the F-bomb. I think
that was not actually had her.
We have a G rating.
So the Hunger Games book versus movie. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys want to beat Blue, who is really excited about this show, I think she's read the book and watched the movie more than me. If you want to beat her in trivia, I would get your Google fingers ready, because so
take over.
I think I'll just listen.
So me, you, and Jay, and we were all like geeking out about the Princess Bride, and Blue had no idea. It's going to be the opposite now. Me and Blue are going to be like geeking out about the Hunger Games, and no one's going to have any idea what we're talking about. But it's okay.
Yeah, I'll have no idea. Yeah, it'll be fun still. It'll be fun.
You're gonna learn.
Okay.
But yeah, so the quotes you don't have to write, like I said, and they're really, really, when you read those quotes, they are beautiful, beautiful quotes. I specifically picked them for their literary. The way that it was written, there was certain quotes. I just thought you can go into so many different ways, and you can leap off into different directions.
I would try to find inspiration from the Hunger Games, but I'm convinced it's the Crying Games, and it doesn't look like the IRA in the other movie.
So,
no, it doesn't. You like the movie The Crying Game.
Yeah.
It's what?
The movie.
I must play a different game. I cry too much, or I'm just filled with that much sadness. No, I mean, it's not on terrorism. The Hunger Games is a fantasy, right?
Yeah.
The Crying Games is a slightly different theme, but it seems like almost like the Hunger Game came somehow from that movie. Why that thought? If you see the succession of orders of titles.
Well, you have to listen to the show. I got a whole backstory. I'm going to have to cut it down. I have a 13-page itinerary, and I don't think. It's really 13 pages. Pretty wrong. All right.
That's right. We're going to close up shop, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Merry Christmas.
I'm going to hang out with
everyone.
I'm going to hang out with this fearless cat who keeps the cat.
Good night, everyone. Stephen and Kay, thank you for having me, and Raz and Hatter and Sky, Merry Christmas
Joseph,
to you. And
Joseph.
Yes.
Hi, Joseph.
Hello, Scott. Have a Merry Christmas, okay? And enjoy your family and loved ones. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Joseph. Merry Christmas.
Good night, Joseph.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, we're going to close out with which song?
I don't know. There were two I picked.
From CFS.
Yeah, I know.
Which is copyright free music on YouTube. Look them up.
Look them up. Yeah.
All they ask is that you give them credit for the song. Unfortunately, it's all instrumental, Hatter. It's not.
Well, instrumental's still good,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a bummer we can't use the music.
It said boo.
All right, guys. Had a good time.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Take it easy, Hatter. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry
See you
Christmas.
later today.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
You want me to hit play?
Yep, hit it.
Okay, it's a shorty. Here I go.
sweet sound of vinyl. My sweetie chose recording from 1921 from the Collegiate Choir, Joy to the World.
Joy to the World, yeah. It was a toss. Because we had a few things in the studio, so it was a toss-up. I did eeny, meeny, miny, moe. And that's a cute picture, Scott.
Ah, yes, the cat.
Yeah, look at the tree. It's cute. Yeah. Looks like he sees something around the corner, though. It's catching his eye.
She is loving these presents a little bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that very well. It's a cute picture.
All right.
Yeah, we should wrap it up because we've been here for a little over 2.5 hours.
Yep, and I want to watch Scrooge.
And I want to get a snack.
I need a snack too.
Yeah, I've got an early dinner.
Duck down from the toaster when you were Scrooge.
Indeed. Don't need to get hit in the face with a toaster.
Yeah. Unless you make me angry.
Right.
Yeah. Would you like to make those jokes? No. Okay.
All right. Merry Christmas, Raz. Merry Christmas, Sky. We're going to head out.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to all the listeners out there.
You can look up ahead.
Don't forget to watch that YouTube video. You got to do it tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.